Welcome. Today we're going to cover just the very basics of getting started in Alice. Once you've downloaded it, it will typically go ahead and put a shortcut icon on your desktop. So you should see something like this if you're looking at downloading Alice 2.2 or 2.3. So I'm going to double click here. It should be just as simple as doing that. And it takes a little while to load in sometimes. There's a lot of files it's looking to pull up. We're going to give it a minute here. And here we go. So immediately when you come to Alice, it takes you to this dialog box that gives you a bunch of choices. So you think, well, which one should I pick first? If this is your very first time in Alice, you might be interested in looking at the tutorial or the example worlds. And when you do that, for example, I'm going to click on one. It will take you to a couple of things where four at least here that you can see where they're going to step you through with little bubble boxes how to get an animation started. I'm not going to step you through this whole one, but what I do want you to see is that when you're finished with this tutorial and you hit exit, it takes you to this view, and you may be thinking, well gosh, I want to go back and create my own Alice world, and how would I do that? To do that, you can click on the help button up here, and it gives you pretty much the same choices you had before. So I would click on example worlds, and you see that you get your original opening again, so that you can go back and pick the templates, one of the 6 that most people typically get their Alice world start with when they're ready to get authoring. So I'm going to go ahead and pick grass, and if you click on open, you'll see that it opens my scene editor. So what we're going to do next is pick an object, and to do that, meaning adding a character, we're going to click on the green button here, and you'll see then it takes us to our folders. The folders display at the bottom. I'm going to click on animals to show you how to go back and forth. So now that you've got this folder open, to get back to the view from where you came, click on this link again, and you'll see it'll take you back to the original layout. So let's go back to animals, because we're going to pick one, and I'm going to show you what you get a choice to do. So you can either double click or drag and drop. I'm going to drag and drop, and you've picked a character you want to use. You'll see it comes with its little box, and Alice puts him in. So what I like to do, because you might want to decide where you want to position your animal before you hit done and start doing your animation. So if you don't pick any of the event controllers, you'll see that you're kind of limited in what you can do with your animal. From this view, you're only going to be able to basically move him side to side or forward backwards, but you're not really going to be able to position him very accurately. To do that, you need to use the controls that show up here on your far right side. So with him selected, for example, I'm going to pick the move objects up and down. Now, once you've gotten that selected, click outside to make the box go away around him, hold down your left mouse key, and you'll see now you can move him up and down. If you want to pick another action, make the box appear again, and this time let's pick, I like tumble. Tumble's kind of cool. Again, click outside of him, make the box go away, left click over him, and you'll see you can move him around in space. So I kind of like that. Now what that does is when you've selected a position and then you hit done, that's where your character is going to be oriented when you start programming the animation. The second thing I like to do is I like to make this screen editor a lot bigger. So let's grid our little keys down here, and you can see where I'm dragging and dropping to make it a lot more visible. So that's my second most favorite thing to do. Now you see that you've got your bunny and your scene. He pops up here in this little box, which is where all your characters and things that you can control to animate display. I would make him leave his plus sign a plus sign, because most of the animation you're going to want to do is going to be with his whole body. So you see when I do bunny and highlight him with the plus sign visible, his details show below. But before we start doing anything with him, I like to control the whole world background, and that you do by creating an event. And my favorite event to create, and I recommend this for everybody, is to create an event so that you can control the camera. We allow it to pan your entire view, because a lot of times when you add characters, sometimes it'll throw it outside of your scene view and it's hard to find them. But if you've got the camera controlled so that you can just whiz around there and try to find them, it's much easier. So clicked on create an event and let the mouse move the camera. And you'll see what this does is this lets me pan. So if I've lost a little bug that I've tried to add, it will let me kind of dig around there, try to find it. So I like that, just it's a little bit more forgiving way to animate. Alright, so let's do bunny here. We've got our bunny position. So when you want to do a really basic animation, you're going to pick your choices here. And I'm going to do a funny one to show you, because I want to show you how to delete stuff too. So I'm going to start my animation by saying I want bunny to move to, and you got to get a little green box here. If you get a red box and you drop, nothing happens. So you have to get a green box. So let's say bunny move to, let's say camera, and then buddy think. And if you click other, you can type in your own string or your own set of words. Okay. And then I usually suggest put a couple animations together and then hit play to see if it did what you think. Now you can see in this case, ooh, I'm not really happy about that, because Bunny moving the camera really threw Bunny out there into space. And that is going to be the case with a lot of animations you'll find in Alice. Sometimes you just have to make them happen to see if that's really what you want it to do. To delete anything that you add in this little screen, move to this little bumpy area, right click, and you'll see delete. So this will let me pick something else, which I think, maybe what I'll try now is make him move instead of moving to camera, just plain move. You see I got my little green there. I'm going to have him move left 1/2 meter. And let's see what that looks like. Much better. So there's going to be a lot of just kind of bumbling around when you first get to playing with Alice. Kids love that, and it's called button mashing. And when you just kind of put some things together to see what works. You're not going to get the perfect masterpiece. Don't put pressure on yourself, and don't let kids do that to each other either. But it is a fun thing to just sort of play around to see. And after a while, you'll get an idea of what are the actions, what characters seem to do best, and based on your own level of patience and your own skill that you come to develop as an animator, you'll find that some things will just come naturally and some things will just take a little longer. So that's what we've got for today. I'm looking forward to hearing more about your animation stories, and we will continue with more requests when I learn more about where people are and what they want to do. So, talk soon.